Narcissistic abuse operates as a complex psychological illusion. It is a defensive architecture, meticulously built to protect a highly fragile and shattered inner core. To the outside world, the narcissist projects a persona of absolute superiority. This facade demands to be seen as righteous, flawless, and completely invulnerable to any form of criticism. This diagram illustrates how that persona is structured. The top half of the iceberg represents the fortress of ego, a collection of rigid geometric illusions designed to project perfection above the surface. Beneath the waterline lies the hidden reality. The entire rigid structure rests on a foundation of profound insecurity and a deep-seated terror of being held accountable for their actions. Narcissists view accountability as a mortal threat. While they may ignore guilt, accountability forces them to admit they are fallible, an admission that would cause their entire projected existence to collapse. Because this projected self has no internal stability, it requires constant external maintenance. The narcissist weaponizes the attention of others, treating it as a currency used to fuel their own ego. We can track this process through a continuous loop of emotional dependency. In phase 1, the idealization phase, the narcissist floods a target with compliments and intense engagement to manufacture an immediate psychological bond. Once that bond is established, the pattern shifts to phase 2, devaluation. The narcissist abruptly withdraws their attention. This sudden coldness creates an emotional imbalance that allows the abuser to reassert dominance. This leads the target into phase 3. Confused and hurting, they internalize the blame and chase the initial illusion of the relationship, which directly feeds the narcissist's need for control. In this framework, relationships are entirely transactional. Attention is never a means of connection. It is leverage used to condition dependency and enforce compliance. When a target attempts to introduce truth into the relationship by holding the narcissist accountable, it triggers an immediate defensive crisis. This framework illustrates the crisis. On the left, a healthy conscience uses guilt to reflect. On the right, narcissistic pathology experience shame as a threatening abyss. Instead of repairing the relationship, they attack the source of truth, smashing the mirror to avoid reflection. Silence is the primary tool used to smash the mirror and avoid the target's perspective. This diagram breaks down the specific layers of that silence. It acts first as a shield to avoid emotional exposure. Second, it serves as a weapon, inducing fear of abandonment. Finally, it becomes an editor, a narrative vacuum allowing the abuser to rewrite events without blame. This silence functions as a highly calculated defensive maneuver. It serves as an escape hatch for the abuser while building a psychological prison for the target. When the narcissist is forced to see the genuine pain they have caused, they face an intense cognitive dissonance. To maintain their narrative of moral superiority, they must mentally alter the value of the target. This process of dehumanization allows the abuser to achieve emotional detachment. By mentally stripping the target of nuance and reducing them to a flat label like too sensitive, the narcissist renders the target's suffering irrelevant. This lack of empathy explains why the narcissist violently resists providing a clean break or mutual understanding at the end of a relationship. You can see the difference here between true closure and the psychological leash of the tether. True closure requires a mutual recognition of reality. Denied closure utilizes strategic ignorance and fake apologies to keep the target suspended between hurt and hope. By refusing to see the target as fully human and suspending them in an unresolved state, the narcissist avoids responsibility while maintaining a final form of dominance. Radical integrity is the definitive countermeasure to this cycle of manipulation. This image shows how the target can starve the abuser of emotional fuel. While the narcissist thrives in reactivity and fabricated accusations, the target operates with consistency and principled silence. Standing firm in your own integrity exposes the abuser's lies more effectively than any argument. It is the one thing a narcissist can neither imitate nor corrupt. When a target anchors themselves in the truth, the narcissistic illusion becomes unsustainable. As shown here, quiet honesty triggers a panic that causes the abuser to double down on contradictions until the facade finally shatters. Their explosive aggression in these moments is not an expression of strength. It is a frantic attempt to hide the collapse of an incredibly fragile inner structure. This graph tracks the long-term resolution of these dynamics. The narcissist's facade creates a sharp, volatile spike of influence, but it lacks the foundation to endure. Eventually, reality asserts itself, and the target's steady, factual credibility overtakes the initial illusion. Any elevation built without a foundation of truth is designed to eventually collapse. Authority rooted in reality will remain. This crucible represents the final stage of recovery. The experience burns away the need for external approval and the habit of shrinking to maintain a false peace. What remains is a character built on truth. The survivor emerges with a new sense of discernment. Wounds become wisdom, and survival evolves into testimony. You stop fighting the narcissist because your existence, calm and whole, becomes an act of resistance against falsehood. Surviving this experience leads to a final, active resistance. By becoming a person rooted in unshakable truth, your life serves as a testimony against the very system that tried to dismantle you.